Today we're diving into one of the most shocking and dramatic developments in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, Ukraine's bold strike that obliterated the Crimean Bridge in a massive explosion. This event has sent shockwaves across the world, not just because of the scale of destruction, but because of what it symbolizes: Ukraine's growing ability to strike deep into Russian-occupied territory and challenge Moscow's grip on Crimea itself. The Crimean Bridge, also known as the Kerch Bridge, has always been more than just a piece of infrastructure. For Russia, it was a powerful symbol of control, a connection that physically tied Crimea to the Russian mainland after its 2014 annexation. For Ukraine, it was a painful reminder of lost sovereignty, and for the world, it was a flashpoint of geopolitical tension. But now, that bridge, that symbol, lies in ruins once again, shattered by a massive Ukrainian strike that has stunned Moscow and ignited furious retaliation threats. The explosion was reportedly one of the largest seen since the war began. In the early hours of the morning, powerful blasts ripped through the bridge's main span, engulfing the structure in flames. Videos quickly began circulating online, showing massive fireballs lighting up the night sky. The sound of secondary explosions followed, likely fuel trucks or ammunition ignited by the initial blast. Within minutes, one section of the bridge had collapsed entirely into the sea, cutting off vital supply lines that Russia heavily depends on for its southern front operations. Ukraine has not officially claimed responsibility, at least not directly, but Kiev's officials, military bloggers, and intelligence sources have all dropped strong hints that this was indeed a deliberate and carefully planned attack. Some sources suggest the strike may have been carried out using long-range naval drones. Others point to modified cruise missiles supplied by Western partners. Whatever the weapon, the message was unmistakable: Ukraine can and will strike where it hurts the most. For months, the Crimean Bridge has been one of Russia's most guarded assets. After previous attacks, Moscow invested heavily in anti-air systems, underwater defenses, and 24-hour surveillance to prevent further sabotage. Yet this attack pierced through those layers of protection, showing not only Ukraine's ingenuity, but also Russia's growing vulnerability. If such a vital piece of infrastructure can be destroyed despite all these defenses, what does that say about the rest of Russia's security network in occupied territories? The bridge's destruction has immense strategic consequences. It served as Russia's primary logistics route to move troops, tanks, fuel, and ammunition into southern Ukraine, particularly towards the Zaporizhia and Kherson fronts. With the bridge now out of service, Moscow's forces will struggle to sustain operations in that region. Supply convoys will have to be rerouted through the occupied land corridor along the Sea of Azov, a route that is both longer and far more exposed to Ukrainian strikes. The timing of the attack is equally important. Ukraine's counteroffensive, while facing heavy resistance, has been slowly grinding forward. By crippling the bridge, Kiev effectively hits Russia's logistical heart, weakening its ability to reinforce or resupply frontline units. This strike may not only have a tactical effect, but a psychological one as well, sending a message to Russian soldiers that even their safest routes are no longer untouchable. In Moscow, the reaction was immediate and furious. Kremlin officials called it an act of terrorism, vowing severe retaliation. Russian state media quickly went into overdrive, broadcasting images of emergency crews working amidst the flames while officials promised swift reconstruction. Yet behind the propaganda, there's a palpable sense of shock and anger. President Vladimir Putin himself called an emergency meeting of the Security Council, and reports suggest he demanded updates on new defensive measures to protect critical infrastructure. But rebuilding the bridge won't be easy. The damage appears extensive. One entire span has collapsed into the sea, and another section has been warped beyond repair. Engineers estimate that even temporary restoration could take months. During that time, Russia's entire southern supply chain will be under strain, forcing it to rely more heavily on vulnerable ferries and overland routes. Internationally, The explosion has reignited debates over the war's direction. Western officials have been cautious, but many quietly acknowledge that Ukraine's ability to strike the bridge demonstrates a new level of capability. It shows not just defiance, but technological advancement, whether through Western supplied systems or Ukraine's own domestically developed weapons. For Ukraine, this is a moment of triumph not only militarily but symbolically. Ever since Russia built the bridge in 2018, it has been viewed as a trophy of Putin's imperial ambitions. By striking it, Ukraine has effectively attacked the symbol of Russia's control over Crimea. For the Ukrainian people, who have endured years of occupation and bombardment, seeing that bridge burn is a powerful reminder that their resistance is far from over. However, such a bold move comes with risks. Russia's military command has already vowed massive retaliatory strikes against Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. Air raid sirens have once again sounded across Kyiv, Odessa, and Kharkiv as Russia launches waves of missiles and drones in response. Analysts fear this cycle of escalation could intensify, leading to even more destruction and civilian casualties. Still, Ukraine seems prepared for that possibility. Over the past months, the country's air defenses have become stronger, with Western systems like the Patriot, Iris-T, and NASAMS intercepting a large portion of incoming threats. Kyiv's strategy appears to be one of calculated escalation, applying pressure on Moscow where it hurts most, while relying on improved defenses to withstand the inevitable retaliation. Beyond the battlefield, this attack has also rattled Russia's domestic audience. The bridge wasn't just a military target. It was a symbol of pride for ordinary Russians. When Putin personally inaugurated it by driving a truck across its span in 2018, it was hailed as a monumental achievement. Now, its destruction undermines that narrative, exposing weaknesses and raising questions about the Kremlin's control. Russian social media has erupted with anger, confusion, and fear. Many are asking how, after so many promises of protection, such a catastrophic failure could happen again. Some analysts suggest that this could deepen internal divisions within Russia's power structure. Hardliners are calling for harsher military measures, while others worry that escalating too far could push NATO closer to direct involvement. The attack also puts pressure on Russia's propaganda machine, which has struggled to maintain morale amid mounting losses on the front. Ukraine, on the other hand, is using the moment to rally international support. President Zelensky has framed the attack as a necessary step towards liberating Crimea, arguing that the bridge was an illegal structure built on stolen land. His government has repeated that Crimea remains Ukrainian territory and that any Russian military asset there is a legitimate target. For many Ukrainians, this strike isn't just about infrastructure, it's about justice, revenge, and reclaiming what was taken. Experts believe that this won't be the last attack of its kind. Ukraine's intelligence operations in Crimea have been growing bolder, with frequent drone raids on airfields, radar installations, and supply depots. Each new strike chips away at Russia's ability to hold the peninsula securely. If Ukraine continues on this trajectory, Crimea could become increasingly isolated, both physically and psychologically, from the Russian mainland. Meanwhile, Russia faces the difficult task of choosing how to respond. Launching another wave of missile attacks on Ukraine may satisfy domestic outrage, but it won't fix the logistical nightmare caused by the bridge's destruction. Rebuilding will take time and resources that Russia can ill afford as its economy continues to feel the pressure of sanctions and the mounting cost of war. This incident may also have long-term implications for the broader geopolitical landscape. It highlights the shifting balance of power, as Ukraine demonstrates capabilities once thought impossible for a smaller, embattled nation. The West will likely interpret this as proof that continued support is paying off, while Russia's allies, such as China and Iran, may quietly question the Kremlin's strength and strategy. As for the ordinary people on both sides, The bridge's destruction is another painful reminder of how far the war has escalated. For Ukrainians, it brings hope and defiance. For Russians, it brings uncertainty and anger. The psychological impact of this strike may be just as significant as the physical damage. In the end, the obliteration of the Crimean Bridge is not just about a single explosion, it's about momentum. It signals that Ukraine is no longer fighting just to defend itself, but is taking the fight deep into enemy territory. It's a message to Moscow that no matter how many threats it issues, no fortress is truly safe. And it's a message to the world that the war is entering a new, more unpredictable phase. As the dust settles and the political fallout unfolds, one thing is clear: the Crimean Bridge will never again carry the same meaning it once did. It has gone from being a symbol of Russian dominance to a testament of Ukrainian resistance. Whether this marks the beginning of Crimea's liberation or the start of a dangerous new escalation remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: history was made with that explosion, and its echoes will be felt far beyond the Black Sea. Ukraine's bold strike has changed the dynamics of this war. It's a clear signal that Kyiv is determined to reclaim every inch of its territory, no matter the cost. And for Russia, it's a sobering reminder that even its strongest symbols can fall in an instant. The world watches as the fire from the Crimean Bridge continues to burn, a fiery emblem of defiance, resilience, and the uncertain road ahead.